like to call the Liquor Commission hearing to order for the night of March 4th, 2019.
Hold it. I'm not getting. See if you can do something on there.
I don't have the ability. Oh, here it is. No, it won't let me go
Bruce.
forward.
Get your steps in, yeah. Just put a camera on the TV, you know, and Can we record it?
Stop.
Is he saying his is what?
He said, okay. There we go. There you go. Got it.
Okay, we'll start all over again. I'd like to call the liquor license hearing for March 4th, 2019 to order. The applicant is 2628 Route 59 Company, doing business as Burnt Pizza at 2620 North Sutton Road. Can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McLeod,
Present.
Commissioner Mills,
Present.
Commissioner Arnett.
Present.
We have everybody here. Is the petitioner present? Might just come up and identify your name and address for the record, sir?
Hi there, how are you today? My name's Paul Marin. My home address is 21 Veneto Court, Streamwood, Illinois.
Great. Are there any questions for the petitioner from the members of the Liquor Commission? Commissioner Mills?
What are your hours going to be?
We'll be open 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. daily.
Daily? Okay. And it's basically pizza is what you'll be serving, right?
Correct, yes, it's just a fast casual pizza
Okay.
and some salads.
That new,
The new...
Quick through?
Exactly.
okay. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Arnett?
How many staff will you employ?
Anywhere probably between 12 and 20.
Any other questions? Or anybody in the public who wants to ask any questions? Not, the chair would accept a motion to release a license to the petitioner.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Everything is in order, Madam Clerk? Okay. There's a motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McLeod,
Yes.
Commissioner Mills,
Aye.
Commissioner Arnett.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Chair would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. We are adjourned. You can stick around and get your license tonight, or pick it up tomorrow, whatever you want to do.
Okay, great.
After the board meeting.
After the board meeting.
I can swing by whenever.
Okay.
Thanks, Beth.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. That took care of that.
Whenever you're ready.
Good evening. I would like to call the Special Finance Committee to order today on March 4th, 2019. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairperson Palafis,
Present.
Vice Chair Newell,
Present.
Trustee Gata,
Present.
Trustee Mills,
Present.
Trustee Stanton.
Present.
Trustee Arnett,
Present.
Mayor McLeod.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum, and under old business, we have one item, which is a request approval of Village Hall meeting rooms rental policy. Mr. Norris?
Yes, ma'am. Since the packets were distributed on Friday, there have been two other additional changes to the policy. They're both on the second page. Under Rules and Regulations, number 2, we added in the phrase that use of all kitchen facilities and area is not allowed. That's always been the case. We just verbally advised those using the rooms of that, but we wanted to, at the suggestion of Trustee Mills, added it in to the actual narrative. And then under number 3, we added a little bit more about the renter's obligation to clean up after themselves, and that if they didn't, they would be charged of a cleaning fee, which would more than likely come out of the deposit. So those are two additional changes, so Staff would request approval as amended before this goes to the board, if the committee would like it to go to the board.
Okay, thank you. Any questions up here?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve it, and then we can discuss, I would think, right?
As amended?
As amended.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And trustee Mills?
I do want to thank staff for including a lot of the things we discussed last week, and again, after I sent another email to them about it. And I do see that on the actual application, you do mention about catering, that they have to provide a current certificate of insurance. Does that need to be included in the list of insurance that you have on number 6 on page 3? Should that be there also, or is it not necessary?
I don't, we could. It would be, as our corporation counsel likes to say, belt and suspenders. But I don't think we absolutely have to.
Okay. Okay, and with the certificate of insurance, you would be requiring liability from the caterer?
We would do that, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I think it looks pretty good with the additions that were made. That's all.
Trustee Stanton?
Last week, we were talking about hourly fees. Are these fees just one-time fees, not hourly?
These fees are one-time fees, yes, sir.
Okay.
And they're more than what we normally would charge, looking at the usage of the rooms.
Is that all?
That's all for me.
Oh, okay. Seeing no other questions, we have a motion and a second, all in favor, but we want a roll call, so.
Trustee, or, I'm sorry, Chairperson Palafis,
Aye.
Vice Chair Newell,
Aye.
Trustee Gata.
Aye.
Trustee Mills.
Aye.
Trustee Stanton.
Aye.
Trustee Arnett.
Aye.
Mayor McLeod.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Under new business, we have one item. It's request authorization to remit $9,661,977.33 as the developer allocation for the tax levy year 2017 within the EDA Special Tax Allocation Fund, conditioned upon the village's prior receipt of an order entered by the bankruptcy court granting the turnover motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mayor McLeod?
I don't mind passing this through committee, but I don't like the condition of when an order is entered. I think it should go to a board meeting, and rather than doing it this way.
After we get the court order.
After we get the court order. I don't like doing stuff before there's court orders. It's theoretical stuff
Okay.
to me.
We can definitely do that.
So are you saying that if we voted on this tonight, just not take it to tonight's board meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. It would be our understanding then that if it's passed tonight, we wouldn't put it on a regular agenda for the full board until after the court.
Right, it's on the
enters
agenda tonight's board meeting. It would have to be deferred, and then at the time we get the court order, we would then either schedule it for the next regular or a special.
Fine with me.
So I need to defer as far as making a motion?
No, whoever made the motion just needs to say that it'll be held at committee until the court order.
As well, you put, yes, I'll go along with that.
Who was the second?
Who seconded?
Karen.
Karen, did you second?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So,
I did.
so we have a motion and a second with the amended. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairperson Palafis,
Aye.
Vice Chair Newell,
Aye.
Trustee Gata.
Aye.
Trustee Mills.
Aye.
Trustee Stanton.
Aye.
Trustee Arnett.
Aye.
Mayor McLeod.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. President's report?
I'll wait for the board meeting.
Okay,
Madam
thank you.
Chair.
Nothing under other items in review. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Chairperson Palafis,
Aye.
Vice Chair Newell,
Aye.
Trustee Gata.
Aye.
Trustee Mills.
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion
We are
carried.
adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to call the first meeting of the month of March to order. Can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Stanton?
Present.
Trustee Gata?
Present.
Trustee Arnett?
Present.
Trustee Mills?
Present.
Trustee Newell?
Present.
Trustee Palafis?
Present.
Mayor McLeod?
Present. Can everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Want to lead us, Trustee Stanton?
My pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting, as all our public meetings is being televised live, will be shown throughout the weeks on our cable channel. Also, Trustee Palafis is participating in this meeting telephonically, so everything will have to entail a roll call vote, and Trustee Palafis will be voting first. You're number one, Trustee Palafis. Okay, move on to 3, recognition of the audience. This is time if someone has a question or something of concern for an item that's not on the agenda. Now's the time to come forward. Yes, sir. You just identify yourself, name and record.
Hi, my name is Mike Safone, and I'm at 1735 Nicholson Drive. I don't know if I was here today wanting to speak to somebody concerning a letter that the neighborhood received, and I don't know if you guys are aware of it also.
Yeah, we're aware of it.
Yes.
Okay, what I was wondering, is the village planning on getting involved as they did with the previous situation that we had with the...
With CN?
Yes. This is
barrier?
Yeah, this is one of my concerns. They want to build a double track, which you're not going to stop them from building the double track. It'd probably make traffic, we really help the traffic on Shoe Factory Road. Where I see the problem is the train currently right now from our backyards is probably 30 feet. They're proposing to put the second track on the west side of their existing track, which is literally going to put the train in our backyards. And what I'm wondering is why they would be proposing to put it on the west side and not the east side. It would greatly help us out. And then I'd be wondering if we could, they're on this drawing that they proposed, they're calling for a fence. And I don't know if this is too new for, where does the village sit on this? Has anybody investigated this, or are they maybe proposing a wall, which I'm guessing most of us would be in favor of, rather than a fence? When you got this double track and then they're talking another 9 trains a day.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation. We found out about it from folks like you who received the letter. We didn't have any advanced knowledge of it. The possibility of them doing this has been broached in the past, but not for several years.
No, the chance of the double tracking was actually talked about back with the old Starline proposal, because the right-of-ways there, they said, the Starline proponents and the engineer done said that it would have to be double tracked.
Right.
Because of commuter rail reasons. But we hadn't heard anything at all. And we are going to request to review the plans with V3 as an engineering firm that was hired by the CN and has made the application on behalf of CN to the Army Corps. So our engineers are going to request to see those. We have some concerns related to wetlands and storm drainage, and obviously we share some of the concerns that, Mike, that you've raised too. But there are real issues there with drainage, especially on that west side. So we are going to look into all that.
I think that I don't know if there was an issue when they originally proposed the wall. I think they had
There was.
I think that they had the drainage issue resolved. I'm pretty sure they did.
They had a solution that they could implement, but is extraordinarily costly. and they didn't want to have to implement it. It would be basically rerouting the creek. Our engineers aren't here tonight, but we are going to look into this, and
That's where I was today. I came by today to talk to engineering, somebody from engineering, and actually, they were not even aware of it. They were aware that they got the letter, but nobody's even started moving on this, because I just got back from Arizona. This came in the mail the next day, and this has to be, all communication has to be before the 29th.
right.
And I'm going to be out of town until the 26th, which doesn't really give any time to work on this, whether I get the neighborhood involved again
So-
or whatever, but
One of the things that we thought was telling is that not only, right now, there's no requirement for a public hearing. It's just a technical evaluation by the Army Corps, and they'd either approve it or deny it. And based upon that approval, the railroad doesn't need any other approvals. None, because Federal Surface Transportation Board is their regulatory body, and there's room to put it there, so, it's.
I think the room would be there if they moved the creek, but I don't know where they'd put the creek, because the creek is like, I don't know, maybe 12 feet from the property line.
But obviously, there is a solution here that that V3 and CN believes is viable. Otherwise, they wouldn't have applied to the Army Corps, because the Army Corps is not going to permit something that doesn't have a way of mitigating the issues.
Right,
So their
right.
plans have to contain what they believe is a solution. So we will look at that, as I've said. We're encouraging everybody to contact Congressman Krishnamurthy and Senator Durbin and Senator Duckworth, because they will be the ones that can put the most pressure on, and write letters yourself. Don't, you can use a template letter, but everybody needs to send one, because Channel 5 said tonight that the Army Corps told them that they will accept comments on anything, not just stuff that's under their purview. So noise, vibration.
Concerning this?
Concerning this, anything.
Oh,
that
so
you've
then
ex-
this was so then this was on the news then?
Is on Channel 5 at 5, right,
Oh, today?
today.
Oh,
And we
interesting.
thought the Army Corps was only going to limit comments to stormwater and wetlands issues, but they said they want to hear it on anything, because that could trigger other levels of review. Well, the more review is, the more chance that whatever the impacts are, they're going to be, CN would look to mitigate those more, and maybe somebody federally will listen.
Of course, it would be their people to do the studies to find out what the impact was.
And/or
which would
the
be
Army,
great.
and the Army Corps. And believe me, the Army Corps is not kind to anyone, just from experience. So, like I said, we're going to review it, the stormwater, the engineering, those type of impacts, but we're encouraging the residents to engage.
Make noise.
Make
We're
noise.
certainly going to encourage CN to do some sort of mitigation if they build this. Trustee Mills.
On page 5 of this packet you gave us tonight, it does make comment about any person can request in writing a public hearing.
Right.
As long as it's in this period, and then it should be state particularly the reasons for holding a public hearing. So that's something that if your neighbors and that are going to be responding, that
Right, which
request
only
should be
gives
in
me
there.
it gives me a couple days to get things going. Jim, I'd like to stop by your office sometime this week to actually jot stuff down. I'm not really prepared to.
Sure, and there's
to do all
some
that.
neighbors south of you off of Mallard Lane that have already taken the bull by the horns. They've engaged some people to help them. And they came in and met with Mr. Copland and myself today for about.
Oh, so then we do have some.
And they were all part of the Channel 5 story, were interviewed. There was at least 5 different last names referenced, so I have the card from one of the residents, and I can share that with you, Mike, and.
Okay. Is there any, should I call before I come in or just stop in or?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow would be good. Or anytime, I'm leaving Thursday.
Tomorrow before, between 9 and 10:30, if you can in the morning, or anytime or after 1 till about 3:30, I'm open.
I'll be
Or
in
just call
tomorrow-
first, Mike.
Tomorrow
You
after
know
1.
Right, call. And
Okay.
the first, and we'll confirm it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
I'll just see you said between 1 and 3? Is it?
I've got a 3:30 meeting, so between like 1 and 3:30.
Okay, I'll just stop in after 1 o'clock then.
Super.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Zafone. Anyone else have anything? If not, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes of the February 18th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
So motion is second.
Question.
Any questions on these minutes? Seeing none, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Chair to accept a motion to approve the minutes of the February 25th, 2019 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
So motion is second. Any questions or comments on these minutes? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Move on to 5, consent agenda, omnibus vote. Chair would accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for an omnibus vote on this item. The items under consideration here are A, approval of the agenda, B, approval of the schedule of bills for March 4th, 2019 in the amount of $1,863,518.49. C, request board approval of an ordinance granting a variation to premises at 340 Navajo Lane. D, request board approval of an ordinance granting a variation to premises at 805 Heather Lane. E, request board approval of an ordinance granting a master sign plan amendment under section 9-3-8-M-12 of the zoning code for the property located at 2250 through 2360 West Higgins Road, the Barrington Square Town Center. F, request board approval of an ordinance authorizing the sale of personal property owned by the Village of Hoffman Estates firefighter clothing. G, request board authorization to award contract for fire department uniforms to Today's Uniform, Crystal Lake, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $42,000. H, request board authorization to 1, waive formal bidding, and 2, award contract for Village Hall HVAC automation system upgrade to Automated Logic, Chicago, Lisle, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $36,555. I, request board authorization to extend 2017 contracts for 2019 season Parkway Tree Planting Program. Low bids, 2. 1 Acres Group, Wakanda, Illinois, and 2 St. Aubin Nursery in Kirkland, Illinois, in a total amount not to exceed $119,750. J, request board authorization to close the existing contract and approve new contract for engineering services for rehabilitation of Chippendale Sanitary Sewer Lift Line with Baxter and Woodman Engineers, Crystal Lake, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $56,300. K, request board authorization to 1, waive formal bidding, and 2, purchase 2 new Cry-Steel stainless steel select dump bodies, Monroe underbody plow, Monroe spreader box, pre-wet system controls, and fabrication installation using Sourcewell contract discount for Monroe Truck Equipment, Monroe, Wisconsin, in an amount not to exceed $158,640. Are there any questions or concerns on any of these items? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Move on to 6, President's Report. I believe there's a couple of proclamations, Madam Clerk.
In big font, yes.
Okay, who's got the first one?
Yes, I have the first one. Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas National School Breakfast Week was launched in 1989 to raise awareness of the availability of the school breakfast program, a federally assisted meal program operating in public and nonprofit private schools and residential child care institutions since 1975. And whereas breakfast is often described as the most important meal of the day, it not only provides important daily nutrients such as protein, fiber, calcium, carbohydrates, but it also helps improve school performance, allowing students to do better on tests according to the Food and Nutritional Services. And whereas children who go hungry are more inclined to become distracted from learning at school or give up more easily when faced with challenges, healthy, well-rounded breakfasts are best for a child's maximum performance level. And whereas local school districts and others, including District 54 Education Foundation Food, forethought, incentive are working hard to address the concerns of access to a nutritious breakfast for all students through program awareness and fundraising activities. Whereas it is the responsibility of the adults, parents, caregivers, and educators to care for children by providing them consistent access to quality food they need to learn, grow, and thrive. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by virtue of the authority vested in him by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and the laws of the Village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaim March 4th through the 8th, 2019, is National School Breakfast Week in the Village of Hoffman Estates, and hereby encourage all citizens, government agencies, business leaders, hospitals, schools, public and private institutions in the Village of Hoffman Estates to promote awareness of the importance of providing all students with access to nutritious meals, breakfast included, so that they can put their best foot forward every day.
Chair to accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Obviously, this is very important, as we all understand. I would like to commend the District 54 Foundation, who is working to make sure that every school in District 54 has this opportunity. They receive sponsorships from certain businesses, and they're also raising money to do this, so really commend them. Can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Of course. Trustee Palafis. Aye. Trustee Stanton.
Aye.
Trustee Gata.
Aye.
Trustee Arnett.
Aye.
Trustee Mills.
Aye.
Trustee Newell.
Aye.
Mayor McLeod.
Aye, motion carried. Dr. Savigi, will you accept this? Always making you work, aren't I? Who's got the next one?
I do. And not to complain, but I am going to complain. This font is actually too big.
Oh.
Your eyes trip over it like crazy. If we just made the font,
Stanton.
if we just made the font the same as we have in the report, that would be fine.
Small.
You think it's too small?
Yeah, and this is a fine as far as the font.
We can
that
put
you
this on
use, I think,
committee
is
if you'd
really
like.
Oh, my gosh.
I think the clerk should give everybody the size they want.
You talk to Sue and Jen about that, because I'm done.
All right, here we go. Whereas National Nutrition Month is a nutrition and information campaign sponsored each year by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics that promotes nutrition awareness, health, well-being, and factual information regarding proper nutrition. And whereas research shows that proper adequate nutrition plays a central role in the development and maintenance of optimal physical and mental functioning and well-being. And whereas research shows that many children and families do not have reliable access to proper adequate nutrition. And whereas residents of the Village of Hoffman Estates represent a diverse cross-section of the American public who could benefit from education regarding current nutritional facts. This knowledge could include current scientific facts related to access to food, the importance of proper nutrition, and its role in physical and mental development. And whereas this knowledge would assist the residents of the Village of Hoffman Estates in making informed food choices to optimize their physical functioning and emotional well-being. And whereas this knowledge would also help the residents of the Village of Hoffman Estates by increasing access to adequate food and nutrition. Be it therefore resolved that William D. McLeod, acting under and by the virtue of the authority vested in him by the Constitution of the State of Illinois and the laws of this Village of Hoffman Estates, hereby proclaims March 2019 as National Nutrition Month in the Village of Hoffman Estates, and hereby encourages all citizens, government agencies, business leaders, hospitals, schools, and public and private institutions in the Village of Hoffman Estates to promote awareness of nutritional facts, support programs and policies that advocate nutritional access and awareness, and provide opportunities for all to participate in the awareness and education of nutrition as related to optimal physical and emotional well-being.
Chair would accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We appreciate what the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is doing here to help raise awareness. It's obviously self-evident, but they still got to raise it so people understand the importance. Is any discussion on this? Seeing none, can you poll the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis.
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Dr. Savidja, one more time. I'm out of proclamations, so it'll be fine. Thank you. Okay, I do have one resignation. That's Pat Barch from the 60th Anniversary Committee.
Move to accept with regret.
Second.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. Pat does great work for us. He'll continue to serve as our historian, and just a little time crunch for her. Any further discussion? If not, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. I'd like to appoint Doris Harner to the 60th Anniversary Committee.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. I'd like to make some appointments to the Complete Count Committee. Jennifer Georgievic, Carolyn Olar, Robert Kaplan, Demetrius Gibson, Terry McHugh, and Anna Coate. Chair to accept the motion.
So moved.
Second.
There's another name on here.
John Erickson?
No, Doris Harner, did I?
No,
hear-
that was
No, that's for the 60th
60th.
anniversary.
We just did that.
We just did
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry. I
And
missed-
that's a new
okay.
code.
Fine.
You've been served, Trustee Stanton.
Yeah.
Last one, there was a new coat. I
That
sort of
one
messed
hurt
that
me.
up. No, I don't think it really did, Jim. There's a motion, a second. Any discussion? See none, can you pull the board, Madam Clerk?
Sure. Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Trustees Arnett and Gata, and I attended the Korean American Association of Chicago Recognition, Illinois Korean American Summit Gala and Award. They had over 500 people there. It was quite an event. They filled the whole banquet hall, and the Koreans are very, very interested and get even more active in the community than they have been, and so that's great news. So we had a really good dinner, and they treated everybody fabulously. We got a nice plaque from them, and we're honorary members of the Korean American Association with all the privileges attendant to that. So it was really quite impressive. They do a lot of good work, so that was wonderful. We already did our proclamations. There's a couple of announcements. One, I was just in the Daily Herald that Hoffman Estates was named the 15th safest city over 50,000 in the United States of America, which is a pretty good honor. We have a lot of local, in full disclosure, we have a lot of local towns in our area that also made the list. We're very proud to be 15th. As the paper said, it probably comes as a little surprise for those of us who make our homes here, but a new survey by SafeHome.org confirms it. The suburbs are among the safest places to live in the nation, so that's a very nice honor. Also, we celebrated Manager Jim Norris's birthday today, a little bit early, but we had the opportunity to wish him a happy birthday and many, many more years of birthdays, so that was great. We did have some activities this week. There's always something going on every week. We had the mayor's annual update breakfast at the Sears Center Arena on Wednesday, the 27th. It was very well attended, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. And, a lot of good information. I won't mention what I said about Las Vegas. That'll be between everybody who was at the event. And also on the 27th, we had Wine Wednesday at the Assembly Bar and Grill, which was very well attended. It's always very well attended when we have it there. On Thursday, the 28th, I co-chaired the Diversity Task Force with Representative Rod Craig for the Metro Mayor's Caucus. And on Saturday, March 2nd, attended the North Suburban Teachers Union Legislative Breakfast at the Stonegate, again with Rod Craig. He's the only other mayor there. And Saturday evening, I already mentioned, we went to the Illinois Korean American Summit and Gala in 2019, and they're going to make that a yearly event, and that's really cool. And Sunday, March 3rd, I had a really great event to go to. It was my brother John's 75th birthday party at the Jazz Showcase in Chicago. He's a big jazz aficionado, and it was a surprise party, and his wife pulled it off. And there are a lot of people there. John is a very eclectic person. He has so many different interests. He knows people from every walk of life and every culture and every interest. So he's one of those guys that can talk to everybody and find something in common with anybody. So that was great. And again, tonight we celebrated Mr. Norris's birthday. So that's all I have for now. And I assume the trustees have no comments, right?
Right.
Starting with trustee Stanton.
Thank you. Only a couple of things. On the 20th of February, Trustee Mills and I met with the Lakota group regarding the development of the western part of Hoffman Estates. And then on the 27th, I was able to attend the mayor's annual update. And happy birthday, Jim Norris,
Thank you.
especially on Friday.
Yes.
you.
When's your real birthday? Trustee Arnett.
On the 24th, I attended the Eagle Court of Honor for Matthew Hoppish. And on the 27th, I also attended the mayor's breakfast update and also attended the Wine Wednesday. I think they're going to need a bigger room next time they have it there.
Yeah.
Also, as Mayor said, attended the Illinois Korean American Summit and Gala. I think next year they should have it here. I mean, not in
Yeah,
the
we
Village
were
Hall,
urging
but-
them to do that,
Yeah.
all three of us.
Yeah. And then also attended the 60th Commission celebration meeting tonight, and everything is going very well, getting a little more organized. And a happy early birthday to Mr. Norris. That's all I have.
Great. Yeah, the Korean American Gala, one of the cool things they did, there were about 9 towns there. And each town, they had their own room, and people who lived in that town would meet with the mayor and, in our case, trustees, and with our economic development person to get an overview of what's going on in the committee, to answer questions. So it was very informative, and I think and I hope they continue with that format in the future. Trustee Mills.
On the 20th, I attended the Northwest Mosquito Abatement District meeting in Wheeling. And as Trustee Stanton said, the 21st, we had the meeting with Lakota about the Western Area Plan. On the 27th, I was also at the Mayor's Update Breakfast, talking about everything great that's been going on in town and what we're going to look forward to in the future. And Wine Wednesday that night at the Assembly. Tonight was our 60th Anniversary Commission meeting that I chaired, and things are looking up. It looks like we're going to have some great events, great time planning our big event in September. And we'll be putting out a save the date in our next newsletter to remind everybody in town. On Saturday, we had the pleasure of celebrating our 4-year-old granddaughter Molly's birthday, so that was a fun night, too. And I just want to wish good luck to those who are participating in next Sunday's Polar Plunge, including our youngest trustee over here, Karen Arnett, who's going to be going in, and I wish them all the luck, and don't get too cold.
She'll
That's
do a
it.
great job representing all of us.
Yes. And happy birthday to Mr. Norris on Friday.
Thank you.
Hey, Trustee Palafish, you want to throw anything in here?
Yeah, happy birthday, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
That it?
That's it.
Okay, Trustee Newell.
Okay, not too much, but on the 24th, attended the Eagle Scout at St. Hubert's for Matthew Hoppish, and then on the 27th, did the Jawa meeting. One thing that was kind of really notable at the meeting is that there was a proclamation there, and all the mayors signed it, including Mayor McLeod, and it had to do with Mayor Larson's services to Jawa and to the village of Schaumburg, which was really very nice. It was such a nice proclamation. Other than that, happy birthday, Manager Jim Norris, and that's it.
Okay, Trustee Gata.
Here we go. Well, we're going to back up a ways because I haven't been around. But on Wednesday, November 9th, I attended a very...
November?
I'm sorry, February.
You went way back.
Like, I don't have enough ink.
We're the way back machine.
You guys can pull out your sleeping bags.
I'm glad everybody's listening to pick that one up really quick. Let's start all over again. How about Wednesday, February 9th? I attended a very interesting event called Code 3 Program, which was a Winston Dry Fire. And this was held at the Willow Reception Center. Anyways, the Hoffman Estates Police Department from Station 23 described at the time from the time they received the call from the dispatcher to arrive at the scene of the fire and putting the fire out. It was amazing because all the people that was in the audience, there must have been about 18, 19, 20 people from Winston area, okay? And what they were doing was they was explaining what they should do, what they should be watching out for. And it was an excellent, excellent program just to enlighten the neighbors, right, of what to do when something like that does happen. And the response time as far as when, from the time they get the call to the time that they get out. Anyways, and yes, Chief, I was very impressed with that, and I think that the people that was in the audience was also not only informed, but they were impressed with that too. And I believe it was Station 23, correct. Anyways, let's see, Sunday, February 10th, attended the Blue and Gold ceremony for PAC 297, held at Poplar Creek Bowl Banquet Center. Oh, and by the way, as far as the Code 3, there was Mayor McLeod there and the village clerk, Bev Romanoff. So then, let's see, the Wednesday, February 13th, attended the Valentine's Day luncheon put on by the Senior Citizens Commission, and it's always a great affair. And then on Saturday, February 16th, Black History Celebration that was put on right here by the Cultural Awareness Commission, and they always have a good turnout. Then on Wednesday, February 27th, attended the mayor's annual update breakfast, and there, according to what I was told, there was over 120 people that attended that affair. And Mayor, you did an excellent job as always. And then on Saturday, March 2nd, attended the Illinois Korean American Summit Gala at the Hilton Chicago in Northbrook with the mayor, Trustee Arnett, and Kevin Kramer, Director of Economic Development. And yes, that was an excellent affair, and we met the General Counsel from the Korean, right, that was there. They had the breakout rooms of all the different suburbs. There was roughly about maybe 8 or 10 suburbs. And the room that we were in, criminy, there was only like 2 seats that were available. That room filled up. And what was interesting was that we had an interpreter there. So this way, majority of the people in the audience, they were asking questions, and they were all in Korean. So the interpreter had to explain to us, right, what the question was, and then, of course, the mayor would be answering and so forth. But it was an excellent, excellent program, and I hope that they consider Hoffman Estates when they do this. This is the first time they did it, and this is going to be an annual affair. And happy birthday, Mr. Norris.
Thank you, Mr.
That's all I
Gaeta.
have, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Yeda. Move on to 6C, speaking of Mr. Norris, Village Manager's Report.
The first item I was going to talk about is the Army Corps of Engineers application that the mayor and I first found about Friday evening. We got an email from a resident in the western part of the community who had received it. And I think since Mike Sifoni brought it up, I don't need to say anything more, but we'll keep the board in the loop. The second thing is, and I did send an email to the board about this, but I think it's important to talk about it publicly, and that is that on Friday evening the 1st, Mr. Hankey and I attended the American Council of Engineering Consultants Awards Dinner. We knew going in that Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley, who were the primary engineers on our portion of the project, had submitted the project to the ACEC for potential consideration as an award. And it was awarded the highest award that you can get in the transportation category. But we also found out that evening is it ended up winning the most prestigious award, one they don't pre-announce. And this one's called the Lincoln Grand Conceptor Award, which is basically the project of the year, not only in the Chicago suburbs, but in the Chicago metropolitan area. There was actually projects from Ohio that were somehow considered within that group. And because this project won that, it is now eligible for the national award, which will be in Washington DC. I think it's sometime in early April, and the mayor will be invited to attend that. This board is aware that the project involved many agencies, not only governmental agencies like IDOT and the Toll Highway and PACE and the village, but it included private entities like St. Alexius and others. And it was multimodal, which was frankly one of the reasons why I believe it was won, because it covered so many aspects of engineering and addressed so many people's needs. It wasn't just a project dealing with a water line or a simple roadway. It really dealt with a lot of issues. So, but to a person that was there, that was part of one of these agencies, they extolled the virtues of the village, especially the mayor and Mike Hankey, for promoting and pushing this project for as many years as this project was promoted and pushed. So it's nice for the village to be recognized, but for me, it was especially nice to see and hear the mayor getting the recognition he deserved, and Mike getting the recognition he deserved. He and I joked that when I was hired by the village in 1998, he had already been working on this project for like what he felt was a lifetime, but I said he's had several lifetimes since then. So it's a great recognition for the village.
Who gets to keep the award?
Actually, we will be able to get a copy of it. It's actually given to the consulting engineer, so CMT took that one, but Mike has placed an order. So we should get them, and we will be formally presenting them to the board at that time.
Well, that was a long-standing effort to get that done, and there's many people who aren't even with us anymore or who don't live in the area anymore who played such an important role on that. I mean, the hospital under Ed Goldberg, paid for a study in the 80s, and everybody just kept plugging away, and things came together. And sometimes when you work hard, you create good luck when you work hard. No doubt about it. That was great. Okay, we'll move on to 6D, the village clerk's report.
I know you guys have been waiting.
We have been.
During the month of February, you want to know this, 82 passports were processed, which was like a crazy amount. So people are getting ready for their spring breaks, and 139 FOIAs. I told Audrey the day that we pass the amount of passports passes the amount of FOIAs, we're going to do something, I don't know what. It's never going to happen, so we don't have to worry about it. But had a busy month. Happy
Great.
birthday, Jim.
Thank you.
I'll wait till Friday when you're no longer the same age as me. Thank you very much. I should be thanking your mom.
You should.
Move on to committee reports, planning, building, and zoning, trustee Stanton.
Thank you. On March 18th, 2019, I guess we're going to be the opening act for the board meeting as well as the other two committee meetings. And at 7 o'clock, we'll have a roll call, then approval of the minutes for February 11th, 2019. Then new business is first a request by Petro Auto LLC for approval of the site plan amendment for a facade change and a change to the conditions of approval to allow temporary occupancy. 2, request approval of Northwest Housing Partnership as subrecipient to administer the Community Development Block Grant, the CDBG, Single Family Rehabilitation Project, and to approve execution of the proposed subrecipient agreement. 3 is request authorization to waive bidding and purchase replacement Code Enforcement Division Vehicle Unit C81 through Northwest Municipal Conference Suburban Purchasing Cooperative in an amount not to exceed $21,630. After those 3 items, we have reports for information only. First is the Planning Division Monthly Report. Second is the Code Enforcement Division Monthly Report. Third is the Economic Development and Tourism Monthly Report. Following that, we may have a president's report. We have nothing in other items in review at this time, and then we will adjourn.
Thank you, trustee Stanton. General Administration Personnel, trustee Arnett.
Thank you. Immediately following the Planning, Building, and Zoning Committee, we will call to order the General Administration and Personnel Committee for the Village of Hoffman Estates, March 18th, 2019. We will begin with a roll call, followed by the approval of minutes for February 11th, 2019. We have 2 new items under new business. Number 1 is a presentation by Palatine Public Library District regarding a voter referendum on April ballot. Number 2 is request approval of a resolution creating the Plots Concert Commission, increase in membership from 7 to 9. Then we will move on to reports for information only. Number 1 is the Cable TV Monthly Report. Number 2 is the Human Resources Monthly Management Report. And number 3 is a Legislative Operations and Outreach Monthly Report. Will then be followed by the President's Report, if there's anything in other or items in review, and we will ask for an adjournment.
Thank you, Trustee Arnett. Transportation and Road Improvement, Trustee Mills.
Transportation Road Improvement Committee will also meet on Monday, March 18th. After the roll call and approval of minutes for February 11th, there'll be 2 items under new business. One is a request approval of a resolution in support of regional transportation funding needs, and the second is a request approval of a change order to the material testing contract with Applied Geoscience Incorporated of Schaumburg, Illinois, for the 2018 street revitalization project in an amount to be determined, and not to exceed an amount to be determined. That will be followed for information only report for the Transportation Division Monthly Report, if the President still wishes to speak, followed by other, and we do have one item still in review. This is for May of this year, the discussion of the parking permit program in the Washington Boulevard and Alcoa Lane area. And then we will adjourn into a board meeting, I take it.
Yep.
Because there is no meetings next Monday, correct?
Okay, move on to additional business. Item 7, we have 3 items. A is request board approval of an ordinance amending section 8-3-22, number of licenses of Article 3, alcoholic liquors of the Hoffman Estates Municipal Code, increase in number of Class A licenses, 2628 Route 59 Company doing business as Burnt Pizza Company, 2620 North Sutton Road. Chair will accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. Any discussion from the board on this? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. We have 7B. Request board approval of a Village Hall meetings room rental policy that was reviewed earlier tonight. Chair would accept a motion.
So moved.
Second as amended, correct?
Second, right, motion as amended.
And I second that.
Okay, there is a motion, a second. Any discussion on this one? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. 6C, request board authorization to remit $9,661,977.33 as a developer allocation for tax levy year 2017 within the EDA Special Tax Allocation Fund conditioned upon village's prior receipt of an order entered by the bankruptcy court granting the turnover.
Move to defer?
There's a motion to defer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
There's a motion, a second to defer. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, can you poll the board, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Move number 8, adjournment. The executive session will be deferred until March 18th, 2019. So the motion would be the adjournment and deferring of the executive session. Chair would accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second. Any discussion on this one? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Palafis?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. We are adjourned.